What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over NIO. So NIO has an absolutely huge event today. They have their earnings after market close. So we're going to go over everything that you guys need to be expecting going into this massive event. We're going to go over what I am specifically expecting to happen with NIO. In my personal opinion, I think that NIO is in a great position to beat the analyst estimates for EPS and revenue numbers. We're also going to go over some of the very interesting partnerships that NIO could announce throughout its conference call. That is going to be happening at about 8 p.m. Eastern time. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So let's come over to the chart of NIO, and we can see that it has had a very significant sell-off along with everything else in the market. So NIO is a pretty extreme growth stock. So when the overall market starts to sell off over fears of inflation and the rising 10-year treasury yields, NIO is going to get hit a little bit harder than the other value stocks and stocks that don't typically move as much. So NIO went from about the mid $60 range all the way down to what we are seeing at the current time that I am recording this video. NIO is trading at about 46.96. So coming over to the option chain, we can see that for the March 19th expiration date, there is some unusual option chain activity that we are seeing for NIO. So we're seeing some unusual activity on the $55 calls and the $60 calls. Coming down a little bit further, we can also see that the 65s have some unusual open interest and the volume is pretty high as well. Now for the 60s, the volume is about 4,500 contracts. That was the amount of contracts that were traded last Friday. Now coming back over here, we can see that the 55s also had 6,600 of these contracts traded as well. Now coming over to the puts for this date, we can see that there is a very high open interest to the near the money contracts on the put option side of NIO. So the options traders are pretty split on NIO going into earnings. So we are going to be getting NIO's fourth quarter 2020 and full year 2020 earnings numbers. So coming over here, we can see that NIO delivered 7,007 vehicles in December 2020, setting a new monthly record representing a strong 121% year-over-year growth. Now that is absolutely amazing. And as of December 31st, 2020, cumulative deliveries of the ES8, ES6, and EC6 reached 75,641 vehicles, of which 43,728 of those vehicles were delivered in 2020. So NIO is showing massive growth in their delivery numbers, which is always a good sign. Now, I've said this before in a couple of my previous NIO videos that the delivery numbers and the actual sales that we see come out of NIO aren't the end-all be-all when determining a valuation for these electric vehicle companies. A lot of what goes into their valuation is their future potential and the technology that they are able to put into these vehicles. As we see with Tesla, it's valued at almost $1 million or more per vehicle sold. So getting into this future potential, if we come over here, we can see that on NIO Day, NIO unveiled its new flagship sedan, the ET7, a 150 kilowatt hour battery pack in which the range of those vehicles is supposed to be about 1,000 kilometers, NIO's Power Swap 2.0, the second generation power swapping station, and their autonomous driving technology. And they're also partnering up with NVIDIA, which is also a very good sign. And in addition to this, NIO also has plans for US expansion. If you watch my NIO videos from about a month ago, I showed you guys the exact LinkedIn posting that NIO put out for a job that they are essentially wanting someone to come in and help them expand into the United States market. We are also seeing NIO trying to get into the European market through Norway, which is also a very good sign. At the current time, the vast majority of NIO's sales are coming from the Chinese market only. So when NIO is able to expand into these other markets, we're going to see the revenue numbers increase. And that's why I think that NIO's guidance, if they beat their EPS and revenue numbers, is what is going to send the stock going absolutely to the moon. Now, I'm bullish on NIO's earnings. We did see a very significant sell-off, and NIO is in a very good position to beat. Now, coming over here, we can see the previous consensus estimates for NIO's earnings. So we can see that the consensus estimate for the last quarter that NIO reported their earnings was about negative 17 cents, and the reported earnings per share was about negative 14 cents. Now, if we take a look at the consensus estimate for NIO for this quarter, we can see that it has only moved up towards the profitability range by 1 cent. So NIO has come out with great delivery numbers over the past quarter, and they are able to come out with new technology and plans for expansion. So that is one of the main reasons why I think that NIO has a great chance of beating their earnings. Now, when a company is able to beat the EPS estimates, the revenue estimates, and offer great guidance, which we are going to talk about next, the stock price usually rallies a lot in the next couple of trading days. Now, with an extremely volatile company like NIO and the current market that we are trading in, it's always possible that we see a sell the news event. But seeing that NIO has sold off pretty substantially over the past 2 weeks, I think that if NIO is able to beat the EPS, beat the revenue, and offer great guidance, we are going to see the stock go absolutely insane. In addition to NIO being able to beat their EPS estimates and revenue estimates, we also have a very good partnership that NIO could announce at its earnings call. So coming over here, we've covered this NIO Sinopec situation in depth in a couple of my other NIO videos. So we are just going to go over it briefly in this video. So if you want to learn more about this deal, make sure you go watch some of my other NIO videos. Now, Sinopec is a very large petroleum and chemical corporation in China. They have about 30,000 gas stations, and NIO executives and Sinopec executives were both meeting together at one of these Sinopec gas stations, and they actually brought one of NIO's battery swapping stations to this meeting. So this leads us to believe that NIO and Sinopec are going to be forming a deal in which NIO's battery swapping stations will be put on the Sinopec gas station properties. Now, this would be very good for NIO since they will be able to get these battery swapping stations all around the Chinese country and get it more accessible to its customers. Now, these individuals have had 2 meetings together, which strongly suggests that a deal could be on the horizon. Now, since we've seen 2 meetings and NIO's earnings are coming up, it's possible that we get an announcement or a discussion about this deal. But if not, I think it could come within the next 2 quarters. Now, Sinopec is solely a gas company right now, so they need to understand that the market for electric vehicles and the market decline for gas-powered vehicles and more sustainable energy is going to be declining a lot over the next couple of years. So in order to stay profitable and relevant in the current marketplace, it makes sense for them to pair up with NIO. Now, we're just going to go over one more thing before we end off this video, and that is that NIO got another price target raise, this time from HSBC, and the price target was raised from $44.70 to $54. It's always a good sign to see price target raises ahead of a company's earnings announcement. And if we take a look down here, we can see that NIO's price target was raised from $33 to $80 on January 28th by Morgan Stanley. So in conclusion, I think that NIO has a very good chance of beating these earnings estimates and offering great guidance, which would send NIO stock going much higher in the coming weeks. Now, if the overall market shows weakness, NIO's earnings won't affect the share price in the way that we hope. We will probably see some flatness or a decline in the share price. But if these numbers come out and they're really spectacular and the guidance is great, any dip that we see for NIO going forward is going to be a great one to buy. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. These are for educational purposes only, but I think that this dip on NIO, if we see another dip after the ones that we have already seen, would be great ones to buy for the long term if you have confidence in the overall worldwide electric vehicle market. So that is going to be it for this update on NIO stock. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks. stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a really profitable day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.